Hi Vishalji, welcome to today's podcast show. So we have today with us Vishal Wadhwani, who is a business strategist and from IIM Ahmedabad. So we are delighted to have you with us today. Can you introduce yourself, Vishal?
Sure. Thank you very much, Mr. Pankaj, for giving me this opportunity. I'm a real estate professional. I've been working in real estate space for about 15 years now. And I have done many courses, as you mentioned. I have done a short course in IIM Ahmedabad recently, which is last year, on international business. And my forte is mostly advisory. You can say a principal consultant to many firms, and also I deal with UHNI and HNI individuals. I give them a strategy of investment in real estate and exit in real estate both. So there are many clients who just don't want to buy, but they want to sell also, or maybe they want to exit from an asset, which may be an ancestral asset, or maybe they have bought it in the past and they want to exit. So I'm also exit strategist. So I advise my clients to diversify in various aspects of real estate. For example, commercial real estate, land, residential real estate. Then you have fractional ownership. Then you have villas, holiday rentals. There are many verticals of real estate. So according to the need of the client and their choice, we sit, we do a brainstorming session, and then we give the advice.
Great, great. In fact, today's agenda of this podcast is to make the how to make the Indian real estate industry world class. I come from a background of the real estate for last 30 years, working across different geographical locations in India and the Middle East. However, in Indian real estate context, my concern is to see to it that all the real estate companies are being able to deliver projects on time with world class quality.
Right.
Given the fact that over 3 to 7 years time we are going to be world's one of the largest economy, which anyway we are, but going forward this real estate industry is going to be contributing approximately 15% of India's GDP, which is next
Right.
to agriculture. So what's your say on this, Vishal?
Sure. So as you rightly said, we are already a economy which is ruling the world right now. So, yeah, timely completion of projects has always been a challenge for Indian market. Be it you can say infrastructure, government projects, or it be a individual developer who is developing a real estate project. So infrastructure, of course, you have seen that in last 6 7 years it has really scaled up to a next level. So all the development which is happening by the government is really commendable, and we can see the pace. Everybody is witnessing it. Cities like Mumbai, Pune, Hyderabad, Chennai, all these top cities, 10, 12 top cities, top in terms of the size of the city, not anything else, have also seen a drastic, growth, and the kind of bridges and the infrastructure is going on is really nice. So what I see is in the next 5 years, 7 years, more down the line, the public infrastructure will be, of course, of world class. And coming back to the individual developments done by the developers, there people have seen a significant delay due to malpractices, which are developers have really swindled the money to taking money from one project and not
Yes.
investing in the same project, and they have used this money for buying land or maybe business development for other projects. By the reason being that if you when a developer does this act, and if we get stuck in the cycle where the market slashes down, slows down, and then he gets stuck, and because he gets stuck, all the buyers get stuck, and the confidence of the market is losing. So after RERA has come in the picture, they took some time to regulate this industry, but they are doing a good job. Still, lots have to be done. Still, there are loopholes, but at least the step has been taken by the government, and the big players, the organized players, are doing extremely well. And people who didn't have money and they're just playing around with people's money have been already washed out from the market. So what I see is that. World-class delivery of projects, infrastructure, and individual projects is going to be in the next level. It's growing by the day, for sure, in terms of quality and in terms of speed, both. And of course, the sale is also supporting this act, because if sales doesn't happen, then every industry gets crashed. So sales is also picking up. India is a growing economy, and whatever is being constructed is being consumed. So I think all these things are on a very positive side.
Yeah, thank you for your insights. But government has done their part upon implementing the RERA. As you rightly said, I can see already 50% of the players from the team from the country has vanished because they are not able to comply. Now, coming from the perspective of deliverables on time and world class quality, the thought process has to be changed actually. Mindset part, what I call it, mindset part. Everything is possible. We can be number one in the IT, so why not in the construction industry? In fact, from my perspective, what I look at, the Indian peoples have basically contributed in the development of Saudi, in the development of the entire Middle East, Dubai,
Right,
Singapore. All these things, all these countries, India has contributed to a major extent in terms of providing the manpower, be it engineer, be it managers, be it workers.
right,
So, slowly we have to bring this practice to India. That is what I am striving for. That is what I am fighting for. That is what I am trying to help the Indian developers.
right.
Now, from your perspective, can you share one mistake that you have realized over your number of years of experience that every developer, must avoid in terms of course, deliverables?
So the one mistake I will say is the scalability which they look at a very short period. So when they have the funds or the capacity to develop, say, suppose 100,000 square feet, and they have an aspiration of around 500,000 square feet. That is the biggest mistake done by the developers, and they have crashed only because of the reason they want to scale it up to the next level without having the resources in place. And that's the only reason the corporate companies like Godrej, Tata, Mahindra, all these brands are picking up, because they have all the resources of scalability. They have the corporate background, they have funds, they have capacity to hire people, the right people, and execute the project. That's the reason they are doing like 30, 40 projects simultaneously. And for an individual developer, if he tries to do that, so it's likely a chance that he will crash, because if he gets stuck in the cycle, as I earlier said, of a slowdown, then things go haywire, and so many big time developers are behind bars. So at one point of time, they were like the best of the best developers, and today they are behind bars. So I think this is the main thing which they should be looking at. The scalability should be as per your capacity and as per your bandwidth of your company.
Correct, correct. So going forward, what do you think one secret behind the success of delivery of a project? Because there are few developers, as you rightly said, are being able to deliver projects on time with world class quality, be it Tata's, be it Godrej, Mahindras. They are trying to do their best. So what is that one secret?
Yeah, so the secret lies in the cycle. The cycle is, according to me, is just comprises of only three steps. The first part of the cycle is the conceiving of the project, means the location, the right strategy of the project. Second is the execution part. So first is conceiving the project with a proper design in place. Design is mostly ignored in India,
Yeah,
because if I tell you in detail, so for example, there is a project in, say, Bandra, and the demand for that location is of a large size three-bedroom,
yeah,
and you come up with a product which is a smaller size four-bedroom, just to say that I'm giving four-bedroom in the same price of three-bedroom.
yeah.
But the demand of that location is not a small four-bedroom. It's the demand is only for a larger three-bedroom. So the design plays an important role, combined with the location. The second part of the cycle is your execution.
Yeah,
So the timely execution of the project is equally important as the design. And
correct.
the last part of this cycle is your marketing and sales. So
Yes.
rather, I'll say marketing. If your marketing is right, sales automatically happens. So the right product, right execution, and the right marketing flair is the success formula for any project.
Correct. Thank you so much.
In
So well
short
put.
term,
Yeah,
short term.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Now going forward, the world is, emerging with technological advancement. However, in our country, in this era of construction and the real estate, I don't see much of the world-class technologies are being brought into. So, of course, if technologies are being brought and make use of the technology in today's world, then definitely we can cut short in terms of time and everything. So, what you have to say about it?
Right. So technology, you rightly said, plays an important role. So conventional method of construction of real estate
Hmm.
was, say, in 2010, I rightly remember, in 2009 or 10, Mivan technology was introduced in India,
Yeah,
via which you can do one slab in 9 to 10 days,
yeah,
and you can build a 27-story building in no time. And the conventional method, it used to take about, if you are very fast, 20 to 25 days, about, otherwise it was about 40 days.
yeah,
So imagine from 40 days coming to 10 days, it's like, 3 times faster you're building the project. So technology has come in time, I think so. 10,010 11 was the right time when technology came.
yeah,
But this technology also is only successful when you have volumes. So if you have one building, you cannot afford to have a my one technology. You have to go via conventional technology. So there are different ways which engineers have found out over the period of time. For example, if you're doing earlier, people used to do slabs. For example, there's a 12-story building,
yeah,
so you do 12 slabs, and then you start the brickwork, then you start the plumbing, then you start the electrical, and then the finishing of the project. Then you do the doors, windows, and lift, and finally you deliver the project.
yeah,
Just briefly. But now what has happened is, in conventional, if I would say, the moment the fifth slab reaches, we'll take the same example of 12 floors. The moment the fifth slab is done, developers start making the internal walls and the basic plumbing and all is started. So they are trying to cut short time. If they have the right contractor in place, and they are full with money, they're like funded properly. I don't think the project will get delayed. So execution is the important key factor in completion of the project. So if you have right timelines, so there are many softwares available these days where you can plan the entire construction of the building before the construction started. So you can timeline everything, including your slabs, including your brickwork, including your plumbing, electrical fitting, piping. Everything has to be timelined, and yeah, things are happening fast. I think very fast than before.
yeah, fair enough. Now, going forward, this industry lacks in transparency. I mean,
True.
in terms of, trust building. So, what you have to say about it?
Sure. So yeah, trust, I agree. Till today, there is no trust for sure, because even the corporate developers, they don't actually, according to me, the entire BOQ of the project should be shared with the buyer. Like what kind of electrical fittings you are using, what is the brand, what is the make, everything should be on place. Like in UAE, if you know, there is an entire 100, 120, 30 pages of BOQ, which is
Hmm.
available for public platform. Anybody can see what kind of material is being used in the building.
Yeah,
And many developers have done this. They are being transparent, but still that trust factor is there. So a person buying a property, I'm just not talking about quality. There are other factors. I'll give you some examples. Suppose there is a 25-story building, and the developer is marketing it. A couple or a buyer, they go and they have an aspiration to buy their first home or second home. They go to the developer and they ask few questions about the location. They say, okay, hospital is 1 kilometer, school is 2 kilometers, everything.
yeah,
Now what happens is they book the property on 15th floor.
yeah,
Now there is a big drainage line, like a nala we call in Hindi, which
yeah,
is passing behind the building. So if you go on the 10th floor, your view is the nala view.
yeah,
So when he gets the possession of the apartment, he has a shock of his life that from my balcony I can just see the nala.
yeah,
I have not paid for this. I have paid now. When you have this kind of a problem, you won't even get an exit. You can't even sell because nobody would buy. There will be very few buyers for such view. So just one example I have given. There are many other things. People get a shock of their life once the so, for example, the height of the floor to ceiling height. Very few buyers ask this question before buying. They will ask only about the sanitary ware and what kind of bathroom fittings are using. But internal height is equally important. Suppose you get an height of 8.5 feet or 8 feet, then it is finished. What you can't have a proper you can't live properly in such a house. You need at least 9.5 feet. At least that is a minimum you need in an apartment. So these all small things are been not been hidden but not shared openly with the buyers. So the minute information should be available to the buyer, and the buyers also have to be very smart and ask all these questions. And that's where a professional comes in. If they hire a professional, they would come to know all these things, and they will be advised in a proper way.
Correct, correct. Because yeah, I think you have rightly put it across. Now, coming to the contracts part of it, I mean, if you compare it in the global perspective, of course, in India also there has been a lot of global contracts like Delhi Metro, the international airport. However, in the real estate sector, the contract formulation is itself somewhere what I could see is way behind in terms
Right.
of the global perspective. And when it comes to the awarding of the contract, there is also lack of transparency. The mostly it is being seen that, or mostly it is being felt that the jobs are being given to the L1 contractors.
True.
Yeah. So what you have to say about this?
Yeah, so you are talking about the public infrastructure projects, the companies who've been awarded the contract, right?
No, public infrastructure projects, some big projects like Delhi Metro and big
Yeah, that is
international
an
airports.
infrastructure.
They
Yeah,
are
yeah.
they are left with they are left with no choice but to go for the FIDIC. World class consultants are involved there. World class people are involved there. But in the real estate sector, we are confined to our own people.
Right,
In
correct,
it's a
correct,
completely Indian industry, right?
correct.
Because DMRC Delhi Metro, I worked back in 2000 when it started with Mr. Sridharan at the helm. That
Okay,
time, everything was being given to the foreign contractor, all Europeans.
right,
Technology, be it contracts, be it the, I mean, strategy and funding itself was from Japan. So it was
right.
all world class, right?
Hmm.
But going forward today in the same Delhi Metro project, I feel sorry to say that 20 years down the line, that standard is all not being maintained.
Yeah, right,
Anyway, let's come to the real estate part of it. Real estate industry, the contract formulation has to be in the global standards. And as you rightly
right,
said, everything has to be crystal clear in terms of what we want from the day one. The client has to be crystal clear. This is our requirement.
right,
And everybody, all the stakeholders has to know this, including of course, the customers has got every right. It's a birthright rather to know every
right,
single element of what he is going to get because he's the
correct,
one who has paid, right?
correct, correct.
So this contracts part, what you have to say about?
So see, there are two to three types of contractors available as of now. There are corporate contractors like L&T.
Yeah.
For example, L&T is one of the largest contractor. There is Shapoorji Pallonji, and there are many other contractors
Mm.
who are purely into contracting. Recently, they have ventured into real estate as a development.
Yeah.
But traditionally, they have been the top contractors. You see any bridge, you see any large building, you see a Statue of Unity. Everything is done mostly done by corporate contractors. I would rather term it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
corporate contractors are, I think they should be of the first choice to award a contract because it creates a trust factor in the project. And when the buyer comes and he sees that L&T is going to do the construction, so they know that L&T has their own standards. So, but L&T cannot do all the projects, or Shapoorji Pallonji cannot do all the projects.
Yeah.
They have also limitations. Their team can only work if there is a scope of about say 1 million square feet or maybe more than 1 million square feet of construction. Only large size projects can be they can afford to take because of their
Yeah.
bandwidth, and they can't take small projects. Now, when you come to small projects like 100,000, 200,000, or 500,000 square feet, then you have to be always dependent on local contractors. Now, The role of developers comes in. He has to check the profile of the contractor, and contractors are of these days also are playing very smart. They are doing the construction in barter also these days. So
Yeah.
they will say to the developer that I will take 50% payment and 50% I will take barter. Barter means I will in lieu of the construction, I will take some units in your project.
Yeah.
Now, what happens is the moment he takes the units, he's not the end user. He
Mm.
wants to, he's like a manufacturer. He'll manufacture those units and sell it off in the market. And his cash flow is also dependent on those units because he has done a barter. Now,
Yeah.
what happens is he then tries to compromise on the quality because
Mm.
he wants to maximize his profits.
Yeah.
So building which can be an age of 60, 70 years, it becomes like 40, 50 years because the kind of cement or the kind of concrete and building material he uses,
Mm.
it may deteriorate to maximize his profit because there is a lot of competition. There are so many contractors. So to get an award, contracting award,
Yeah.
they of course have to be competitive on price. The first thing the developer will look at is the price.
Yeah.
Ultimately, it's a business. You need to make profit out of it.
Yeah.
But so the profit should be at what scale and at what you can say at what cost. That is the main important thing. So I think the contractors should be equally responsible for the delivery as the developer. But in India, what happens is I have seen three contractors changing in a project. For
Yeah.
example, one contractor is done till the plinth level
Mm.
and he has some dispute with the developer or some cash flow issue, something, then he will leave the site
Yeah.
and then a new contractor will come. So, it messes up the entire process because the new contractor, of course, they have the design, they have all the parameters in place, but still, I think it will create a mess in the project. And maximum projects, if you see, of local builders, it's a common practice, at least in Mumbai, that one building is completed by a couple of contractors or maybe three contractors. So contracting is equally important as sales. It is equally important as design because that is the backbone of the project, the construction quality and the completion timeline. So I think I've answered your question.
Yeah, you're true. Basically, ultimately, it's a teamwork. All stakeholders has to play a significant role, and none of the teams, irrespective of the size or shape, is equally important. It's a together, everybody wins. It's something like that. But anyway, going forward, I mean, what are the three factors? What are the three things you would suggest to the industry to deliver a project in terms of world class quality, or at least the promised quality to the customers? What three things?
So the three things, if there are many things, but the top three things I will say the developer should focus on is the detailing of the project, detailing in terms of the as minute detailing as a skirting of a tile, and there should be no edge corners of in the kitchen platform, or you have the height of the shower. This kind of detailing I'm talking about. Suppose the average Indian height is about say 5.5 feet or 5.4 feet, and you put a shower at about 6.5 feet, then it has so these kind of small detailings a person or a developer has to look in. And also he needs to know the micro market very well, what kind of buyers are there and what exactly they want. So the second element I would say is the ventilation and light in the project, that has to be taken care of because these days many people are looking at vastu, not in terms of vastu is always there,
Yeah,
but in terms of energy flowing in the apartment. So for example, from where, how many apartments you can get a sunlight from. If it is a east facing balcony, you get a sunlight. West facing, you get good air.
yeah,
Northwest, you get a different energy. So the energies of the building has to be in the right place. So if you develop some project where the bedroom has no sunlight, because the placement of the building is such, many people don't look at these things. Has to go in the thought process of the building, and this has to be explain to the buyer that this is the project. And the last thing I would say is the the extra amenities in the project. These days, most of the people are working hard, and every member in the family is working.
Yeah.
So practically 8 to 9 hours they are out of the house, and 6 7 hours they are sleeping, and 3 4 hours of every day. These days people are very health conscious. So morning, is there a park nearby, or within the building they can create some recreation activities, not just for the namesake of giving a gym of about say 6 700 square feet and writing in the brochure that we have a gym in the building. So these days, rooftop gardens are very popular. Builders are coming up with innovative. Otherwise, the rooftop was dead all the time.
Yeah.
So now, at a terrace level, you get a good airflow in the evening. Senior
Yeah.
citizens can go and sit. So you have to take care of these small things in terms of some. You have to have something for the kids, something for the grown-up people, and for the elderly people. So all these elements outside the house also are equally important. So if you have the proper detailing, which is the first thing, and secondly is the proper design and execution, and third is your external amenities. These three things, if you have in place, I think any project would really do well, and it should really sell well, and
Correct.
people will be happy at the end of the day.
Yeah, understand what you are trying to put in. Basically, I would say fit for purpose, right? Fit for purpose.
Yes, correct.
Yeah. So, in the current or present environment, present world, when we are talking about AI technology, artificial intelligence, how do you think artificial intelligence can bring in or help the industry going forward in terms of providing everything faster? I mean, do you think it is going to be applicable?
I think artificial intelligence will not play a very, very important role in terms of execution, because artificial intelligence will help in getting the data sorted. So if you put some data on the platform, for example, if you put that, what age group people are buying real estate these days, so
Yeah,
it will pull out some data, and it will help the project to sell faster and develop in a very, you can say, efficient way.
yeah.
AI will surely help, but in terms of execution, I think it's again the workers and the equipments and the technology which will play an important role.
Fair enough. How about the environment sustainability?
Environment is always for a toss. The more you build, the environment is going to deteriorate for sure.
Yeah,
So people are nowadays they are looking at solar panels on
yeah,
the rooftop to give some warm water in the building, or maybe there is some technology which people are not using, but in future I'm sure they will use, wherein you can use the lift and some common area lights also with the solar power.
yeah,
This will reduce the the carbon levels. And secondly, for environment these days, a lot of water harvesting systems are in place,
yeah,
wherein the rainwater has been conserved and later used in the building.
yeah.
But mostly, if you say it's against the environment is going to be hurt for sure. It's going to be hit very badly. The more the construction happens, the environment is going to get a major hit.
Correct.
How much even we try, but the urbanization is going to hit the environment for sure. That
Yeah,
is inevitable.
understand, understand. Very true. Thank you very much. I mean, last but not the least, what's your single line statement for the industry going forward?
Be transparent, be honest. That's it. Transparent and honesty. The moment it comes in real estate, you see all the developers who have gone with honesty and transparency are the next level, right? Next level.
I would add to your statement integrity. In fact, honesty is fine, that has
True,
got a
true,
different
true,
meaning, but
true, true, true.
integrity is more
True.
required. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
correct.
thank you very much for your insights and thank you
Thank you,
very
sir.
much
Thank you
for
so
your
much. It
time.
was a pleasure speaking to you. Yeah.
Yeah,
Hope I
yeah,
could add value to some viewers.
yeah, exactly, exactly. We'll be connecting again.
Yeah.
So signing off for now. We'll
Sure.
catch up later. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thanks
Thank
a
you.
lot.
Thank you so much.